The situation worsens when he makes Patty discuss the details of their marriage in court. What right does a woman have to have expectations and desires? I don't understand, shouldn't it be advantageous for her to keep her husband at home? You must decide, Mr. Lawyer. The two female witnesses, who have both slept with Tracy, are put off by this line of inquiry, however. They choose not to testify because they are clearly embarrassed about the prospect of being forced to testify about their sex, which is a scandal. Although Nan has put the pieces together, I did not realize that she is not certain that Nell is her mother. But this infuriates Richard's mother. At this point, Conchita lets her opinions be known and doesn't hold back. She describes how Richard would have detested this event and highlights his endearing qualities. She emphasizes above everything that their daughter is Richard's memorial, more so than any stone that is placed on the wall. I don't understand why Jinny feels the need to appear in front of Conchita, who recently lost her husband, and express concern about herself. Conchita informs Jinny that although she does hold her responsible for Richard's passing, it is not because she made her feel like a widow and wished for her to mourn, which is the last thing she wants for herself. I must admit that this was a significant conversation, but Jinny's comment about waiting for Conchita to be ready didn't seem very sympathetic. Later on, however, Conchita appears with an olive branch, some lovely goodies, and smears Jinny's face with cream. It's good to see them behaving like young girls once more. Honoria is then informed by Conchita that they are now family and that she should go live her life since Conchita will be taking care of her mother. She is aware that Richard has always favored his sister's independence. I guess they were always really close. Honoria delivers Conchita a letter Dick wrote her when he first met Conchita before departing. This letter demonstrates to Conchita that Dick had always loved her and that everything they had endured was unquestionably worthwhile. Well, the waterworks again. With the girls merely relaxing in the background, Honoria informs her mother later in the episode that she is traveling to Paris. Honoria pledges to surprise her mother, who says she expects her to return in a few hours, frightened. Honoria accomplishes the unimaginable in response to her mother's statement that she has never surprised her in her life. In front of Mrs. Brightlingsea and the other girls, she briefly seizes Mabel and gives her a kiss. It's undoubtedly a sight to witness, but Honoria is undoubtedly making waves. Since Nan is living evidence of the situation, she chooses to testify personally. By giving the impression that Nan isn't even his daughter, Tracy demonstrates how he is the worst father there is. The problem is that Nan is merely speculating about her biological mother's identity. However, Guy's arrival improves the situation, and they share a charming moment that evokes their very first encounter. To be honest, though, I couldn't even enjoy it because I was so anxious about people arriving. In any event, Nan then chooses to address Nell about being her mother. Knowing nothing about Nell's origins or how she became her mother, Nan just spits her ideas in her face. Without understanding anything about Nell's past or how she became her mother, Nan just brags about her views. Nell shares with Nan how her sister and her deceased parents abandoned her, and how, when she was only old enough to think for herself, her sister's husband abused her like a prostitute. I guess this is dismissed as merely a disagreement, but I fail to see why Nan should feel justified in ruining Nell's new life in order to find closure. Does anyone else believe this is incorrect? Nell ultimately chooses to testify against Tracy without consulting her sister or daughter, and she has ample evidence to support her claims, including hotel bills and letters. In court, she also confesses that she is Nan's mother, which I believe will cause quite a stir. Since he obviously loves his wife and wants her to have the happy ending she has always earned, Arthur does in fact show there to support her. More significantly, she has also released Patty from Tracy's grip. At home, Theo sees his mother for the first time in a long time.